Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today, once again, we find ourselves here looking over patch notes for update 3.5, which is the Thor Ragnarok update. I am super excited to talk about this for multiple reasons. I want to start off by saying thank you to the folks over at Netmarble. It looks like they got all their ducks in a row for this one, so I am cautiously optimistic. Now, I want to start off by saying you should definitely watch this video here before or after this video. Yes, one video before another video, I know. Very cool. All I can say in summary from the video is iframes, boys, iframes. We've got standing, walking, running, and flying iframes now, and it looks like most characters have the skills they deserve. Also, we got to see Pegasus and some flying horses, which I'm sure you all love very much. So I am, again, tentatively pleased with what Netmarble has done to the uniforms in terms of the skill looks, which we can't actually tell from the patch notes. But let's jump into what we can tell. Before going any further, I want to let you guys know that the maintenance for this update is going to happen between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern Time. It's a little bit shorter than we're used to, but that's great. And I will be live on Twitch as of 1 hour before maintenance. So as of midnight Eastern Time, I'll be live on Twitch. I will begin the update and I'll start up the game as soon as the update or maintenance is down. And I'll be checking out all of the new game features with you guys live on twitch.tv/Cynicalex. And, you know, tier 2ing all the new characters, trying out the new uniforms, and giving you my thoughts and opinions on cinematic mode, new comic cards, etc. So if you want to be the first one to see and experience all of the Thor Ragnarok goodness, hit me up on Twitch, and I will see you guys there. Enjoy the rest of the patch notes. 3 new characters, Scourge, Valkyrie, and Heimdall. No Odin whatsoever in this patch. That is the huge kind of gasp and pretend to be shocked for a moment part of the update. I personally am glad that there's no uniform for Odin because it means there may not be changes to Extreme Alliance Battle, or there may be, or there may just be new options. That's probably the best thing to hope for. So first of all, we have Scourge, a new combat supervillain, and if you know what that means, we only have 3 good combat supervillains in the game: Carnage, Sandman, and Apocalypse. Perhaps Scourge will become our next one. Now, leadership, Gunfire of War seems to be redundant. It seems to do the same thing as his leadership, boost attack speed. So I don't really like that, but I like the fact that it stacks. It's a bit of a new concept. Then we have his tier 2 passive. Looks a lot like Carnage's. When I first read this after I woke up, it felt a lot like Carnage's tier 2 passive. So I wonder if they were pulling inspiration from the previous best combat supervillain before Apocalypse. Then you have his skills, nothing too special. We have some bleeds, some stuns, good for Shadowland, I guess. Heat of the Battlefield seems pretty interesting. It gives a guard hit. Now, if you guys are not familiar, guard hits will now prevent you from being stunned, or sorry, not stunned, blinded, snared, or silenced by the Frost Beast in Extreme Alliance Battle, whereas previously they didn't. So Scourge could be a very solid pick for the free-to-play players, and even some of the, paywall guys, for a replacement for Carnage. But from the video that I told you guys to watch above, a lot of his skills seem to target just one enemy, which may make him bad at clearing out all the mobs. He only has one skill, from the looks of it, from what I saw, that deals damage in a big cone in an area of effect. Then we have Valkyrie, a combat superhero. I predicted she may be combat because of Sif, and I was right. Her leadership is garbage, but it's unique for combat types. We have very few, if any, with the dodge leadership. Leader of Valkyrior, I don't know if you pronounced that right, is also pretty crap, 5%, and it doesn't seem to go up with her tier 2, which is kind of sad, but her tier 2 is pretty good. It's like Coulson, minus the crit rate, and the crit rate is becoming less and less useful for Coulson, let's be honest. Cable self-buffs himself with crit rate. Wolverine already has guaranteed crit rate, so she may be a decent option for those of you who don't want to get the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. leader. Anyways, as far as her skills go, stun, guard hit is nice. All defense minus is Hogan's skill. It's pretty whatever. And she's got a summon. She's got some illusions. Seems like the weak link of the update, but I hope I'm wrong. Then we have Heimdall. Yes! No uniform, just the classic movie look as his default look, which a lot of people were suspecting wouldn't be the case. Everyone was like, oh, Cynicalex, he's going to have his default look and the uniform is going to be for the movie. Well, you're wrong. Also, pay up, because we bet on this, didn't we? Pay me in pastries. Anyways, leadership, all defense, whatever. 6% is high. I don't know if that's going to go up past 24%, but if it goes up to 30 or 36%, that's quite decent. That's Rogue's leadership. It's good. What you want to pay attention to is his 4-star passive. Applies to self, immunity to blind effect. This is a total response. This is a absolute response to Extreme Alliance battle, and this is the one character that not worries me, but makes me feel as though he was designed for Extreme Alliance battle. In the Extreme Alliance battle Universal Hero Day, the Frost Beast will attack you. If it hits you, it will apply a blind effect, and when you're blinded, you have a chance to miss. If you miss, you deal no damage. If you do no damage, your score goes down. So, will Heimdall replace Odin? We're going to have to wait and see. He probably won't do as much damage as Odin, but if he can stave off the blind and if he has other cool effects, he might be as good as Odin or as good as an average Odin. We'll have to wait and see. Then his tier 2 passive is more defensive than offensive. He's got guaranteed dodge and damage reduction, so he's going to be a super tank. Probably tankier than Odin, which is insane to say. But 35% guaranteed dodge is a lot, and 25% reduced damage is a lot, but then he also has boosted damage to his attacks. He's got some bleed, he's got applying blind to enemies, he's got stuns, and he's got burn damage. So again, nothing too spectacular on his skills. We only have one guard hit skill, Eyes of Watcher. We don't have any self buffs, but we'll have to wait and see for his skills. As you guys can see here, Scourge and Heimdall are obtained via biometric selector, so they're totally free to play. Just go and play Shadowland or something. Valkyrie is our paywall character, so hopefully she's better than I have anticipated. Then we have 4 new uniforms, as we suspected, although none for Odin. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed right away for Thor's uniform, and I say that because they didn't choose to change anything on Thor's uniform bonus. Not to say that 15% decreased damage received is bad, but for other characters they changed things like their 4-star passive. This would be a perfect time to do that for Thor. Why you didn't do that for Thor, I don't understand. Even if his skills are good, the uniform bonus is still kind of meh. It's not bad, it's just eh. You could have just given him something, a little something. Well, whatever. They gave that little something to Loki and Hulk. So I guess we got a bit of a win there, boys. So now his 4-star passive, Trickster, instead of giving him 5% increased energy attack, it's going to give him triple at 15, which is very nice. Going to boost his damage even further. And it's going to add the freeze effect that we already know he gets on Scepter Bolt, but it does change a lot of his skills from the video above, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm probably going to just purchase all of these uniforms immediately. However, there's a caveat. Wait for it. Hulk is going to have his... Whoa, that's a big truck. Hulk is going to have his passive improved, not made worse, not changed. Don't panic. He's going to have his healing passive improved with his uniform. So it's going to change his skills. As we saw, he's got the swinging skill and stuff like that if you watch the video above. But it's also going to change his heal and his self buff. So before, keep in mind this is his tier 1 activation rate, 25% healing for 15%. That is his tier 1 passive. It actually gets even better at tier 2, but at tier 1, instead of healing just once, it's going to now recover 2% over 5 seconds. So that's a total of 10%, which I know is still less, but it activates at a higher threshold, 80%, when he's below 80%, and it activates automatically. Before, he had to get hit, and it was a 25% chance, so he could still die from big hits. This is going to make him much harder to kill, which is amazing. Not that he needed more survivability, but hey, he's Hulk. The healing factor makes sense, and he's going to get a bigger damage bump, because as you can see there, instead of 5% all attack, all speed crit rate, he's now getting 10%, and presumably that's going to boost even higher at his tier 2 passive with this uniform. So he's going to hit harder, have new skills, and heal like Gwenpool with the uniform, or maybe even heal like Wolverine. So yeah, Undying Hulks for all. And then we have Hela. All allies will get the kind of yellow jacket uniform treatment. They'll receive less damage from superhero types, which I guess makes Hela more tanky. She needs the survivability. and then it increases the damage dealt to superhero type characters. That may make Hela a fringe debuff, or sorry, fringe support character to go along with her debuff potential, which is nice, but the real cream to check for in her uniform is the skill changes. If they're good, consider buying the uniform. If they're not good enough, don't. However, you should pause before you buy all of these uniforms because they're all going to be expensive, more expensive than we're used to, more than 750 crystals. As you can see here, the prices of the 3 new uniforms are different compared to existing uniforms already on sale. So Netmarble is testing the waters with new, more expensive or differently priced uniforms. I don't know if it's going to require different costs instead of just crystals. Maybe we have to spend gold in addition, or I don't know, something else. But they're also going to require more materials to be upgraded, but the stat increases will be greater. So perhaps Netmarble wants to make 3 tiers of uniform. The base tier of uniform, which is up to 20%, the Thanos tier of uniform, which is up to 35%, and then something in the middle, maybe going up to 30%, maybe going up to 28%. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. If the uniforms are great, I don't really care what the cost is, but the uniform has to be justified in the cost. If any of these uniforms are bad and they're asking us to pay premium crystals and more than 750, they can kiss my boot. Alright, now we have Cinematic Battle. Cinematic Battle looks pretty cool. You have 5 entries per day. You're going to be able to play regardless of whether you have the character or not. So to me, a lot of the impressions I'm getting from Cinematic Battle are similar to World Boss Invasion, which is not bad. I know a lot of players love World Boss Invasion. It doesn't appear to cost energy, so it will just be a free game mode that you can go into, like Villain Siege, which is nice, and it's also in the same tab as Villain Siege, which makes me believe that that's what's going to happen. It's costless. But having characters and having uniforms specifically will give you additional rewards. And as you can see there from that green box from this top image, this is the green box is the one we're used to getting from World Boss Invasion. Whether the items in the box will be the same as the ones from World Boss Invasion, we have yet to see. I would love it if Netmarble made this box contain only premium items. So only, you know, obelisks, ISO 8, Phoenix Feathers, Emkron Crystals, Norn Stones, and Black Antimatter. It would be nice to have something like that, so we don't open boxes with Gear Up Kits or Dimension Debris or Falcon's Bios or, you know, something lackluster like that. So you can read all of the details for this Cinematic Battle, but it's nice to see this game mode. It looks like it's going to be quite cool. These bonus rewards, don't get confused, you only get these once per account. Not once per day, not once per week, just once per account. So don't get too excited about farming Thor bios every day. It's only going to be achievable once. But it's pretty nice, and it's cool that they're giving you bonuses for actually ranking up the uniform. It appears that having the uniform at different stages, rare, mythic, legendary, whatever, will get you different items. And it seems like the items are different from the little icon that you can see at the bottom under Thor's bios. It's not the same one. So that's cool that they're rewarding you for upgrading uniforms. And theoretically, having this uniform, for example, Thor's uniform, at a higher level should give you an even better completion reward. But we'll have to wait and see. Apparently, they also have a lot of different cinematic battles planned. As you can see here, they have Bifrost, they have wolf hunting. So that's cool that they've already thought of multiple different cinematic battles. And we'll see if we can only do 5 per day across all of the cinematic battles, or we can do 5 per cinematic battle. Probably the first option, not the second one, but they're both pretty cool. And now my throat is dry, so I'm going to drink some coffee. Alright, cinematic battle, thumbs up. I'm going to say thumbs up. From this icon here, or this kind of guide here, this picture here, only 500,000 health for Hulk seems pretty low. It's unclear whether it's a 2-minute timer or a 3-minute timer or a 5-minute timer, but it's going to be probably one of those. But it seems pretty cool, and Thor looks awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to see how good this game mode will be. Then probably the biggest shakeup is new comic cards. So, in addition to getting the comic collection, which is as good as we could have hoped, it is not per character, and you do not need to worry about what the mythic card looks like. It just needs to be mythic, and that's it, hopefully, unless these patch notes are not revealing all of the truths. But in addition to that, we're getting new comic cards, full stop. awesome. I love comic cards. I think they're one of the greatest parts of the game in terms of boosting your whole account, and to have more of them and to have more flexibility and more suggestions for you guys on which comic cards you should get is excellent. And I love some of the comics that they've actually chosen for this. You can see there's 3 amazing Spider-Mans at the bottom here with some pretty cute ones. So I love the covers that they chose. I'm excited to see what the effects are. I'm excited to see if we have any new premium cards that give 3 stats fixed. But the comic card collection seems like the better version of what we used to have for comic cards. You can see here from this top image that you'll have to collect certain cards together, and you can see there's the Guardians of the Galaxy set, there's the Shield set. You can see that there aren't any Korean cards or like super premium or super rare cards in this list, so you don't have to worry about collecting those. But when you collect them all, it will give your whole stat or your whole account, every character, this stat boost of 3% movement speed, 3% energy defense, 5% 3% max HP, stuff like that. So it's a very small boost, but it's just a little bit extra to give to your characters, and it's just a little bit more completion for us to use comic cards, because I think Netmarble was feeling as though the top level players and a lot of the end game intermediate players were kind of finished with cards and hadn't touched their cards in months, so they wanted to give us an extra incentive to continue collecting cards and actually making it a point of investment. They don't want any dead resources that we don't need anymore. So that's cool. I dig it, Netmarble. I dig it. Looks nice. I like the animations, and I'm excited to see what the new comic cards are. That's the most important part for me. I'm very excited to see which new cards are out. It looks like there's a lot of new cards. There's a Secret Wars 2099. We got a new Battle World. We can see a new 4 new Gwenpool cards. I mean, this update may be the turning point for cards. We may never think of cards in the same way again. Where we're going to get most of these cards, I don't know. That's probably the biggest question mark I have. If most of these cards are only obtainable through crystal chests, I'm going to be upset, but that's probably the only thing that could upset me at this point. I'm pretty happy with the way things are and the way things are being presented, and hopefully there will be a reasonable way and a free way to farm for most of these cards. Not all, it doesn't have to be all of them, but if we can get at least 75% of the cards using energy as we've traditionally done, because traditionally, most cards are obtainable for free-to-play players. There's only a small number that are not obtainable. So I hope Netmarble continues that path and doesn't make cards kind of walled off by crystals. Lastly, we're getting for the cards at least, we're getting a little icon to show you which of the cards are too awesome for you. So that little P means piss off, because you're not going to get the Korean cards because they're gone now, and you're probably not going to get the Guardians of the Galaxy card unless you drop crystals. So people can finally stop asking, where do you get those cards? Because I'll just say, check the P and pee yourself. I won't say that. Alright, we're getting enhancements to ISO 8 and special gear. I don't know how much of an enhancement this is. I don't really need to auto-select by rank, to be honest. I don't really need to select 10 of these. What I would have rather liked is been able to organize my obelisks by their type, like what the main stat is, so I can see very quickly without having to click each obelisk which one has max HP, which one has guard break immunity. Why don't you give me that option, Netmarble? Please, Netmarble, let me search by the type of obelisk so I can immediately lock the ones that are good and then just flush out the ones that are bad. This is just kind of whatever. I don't think this is going to matter much. Quick enhancements for ISO 8 is also being improved. This looks very nice as far as the UI. It's very clean and very clear and straightforward what you have to do. However, please note that quick enhancement for ISO 8 actually costs more, like 400% more gold than doing it manually. So unless Netmarble has changed that fact, I will not be using this system whatsoever, because I don't want to pay 100,000 gold to upgrade an ISO 8 when I should be paying, and the system will let me pay 25,000 gold if I just do it myself. It's really, you're not saving me that much time that I'm going to pay 75,000 extra gold. That's just not happening. And we're also getting, yes, new special gears, apparently. Celestial Tech Packs, and yeah, I don't know what to say. These have apparently new stats. They contain different stats, so I don't know if this is going to give guaranteed dodge, if this is going to give stats that we've never seen before potentially, if it's going to add effects, like add a silence effect or add a bleed effect to your skills. We'll have to wait and see exactly what the effects are, because this is literally all Netmarble is telling us about. They can be obtained through boost point rewards. Get real, no one's going to buy boost points. Special gear chests, which are paid for crystals with crystals, and then hidden routes. So the first one is the best way to get them. Hidden routes, probably going to be very hard to get them from hidden routes. So this is probably a semi crystal locked type of gear. Hopefully they're not too powerful. I don't want to see massive power creep on obelisks, because as you know, for the past 2+ years we've all been rolling for obelisks, and personally I have a lot of very good obelisks with 200% damage procs and 5 seconds invincibility. Don't take that away from me, Netmarble. That is the only thing that RNG is kind to me about, so I really don't want to lose that. Last but not least, we have other changes. There's a lot of changes. There's 10 different changes to go through. I'm not going to list them all. I'm just going to list the 2 that are important. The one that's important is the last one. The 3D models have been improved. So Hulk is going to look nicer with all of his uniforms, Mockingbird for some reason, and Loki and Doctor Strange. The character models already look fantastic, so I always like seeing how Netmarble has improved upon their own design. This is their design. And then the other more important one is number 7. We did it. We complained about Wolverine's uniform because it's unjustifiably crap, and Netmarble changed it. Wolverine's Age of Apocalypse uniform will now have the all attack, all defense increased, so it will match Thanos' uniform, presumably, and give you up to 35% all attack and all defense instead of 20%, because it cost, or maybe not Thanos' uniform, because it didn't cost as much as Thanos, but maybe it will be that second tier that I was talking about before, in line with Loki, Hulk's, Thor's, and Hela's. So maybe it will go up to 28% or 30%, but it'll be more than 20, and it's good because it costs more than $750 and feathers, so it deserved to be better. So that is my breakdown of the patch notes, guys. The patch maintenance is going to be a little bit shorter this time. In terms of Eastern Standard Time, it is 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I will be live streaming, as I mentioned earlier in the video, at midnight, which is 1 hour before the update goes live. I'll just be kind of talking to you guys, playing a couple of different games and just waiting out the last hour of the maintenance, and then promptly at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, you can check what that translates to in your local time zone, but at 1 a.m. I will jump into the game and I'll be playing for a few hours on Twitch so that you guys can check it out. I'm gonna, get some crystals, check out the new stuff, and be the first one to get most of the characters to tier 2 probably, and then we can talk about it together and have fun and kind of speculate which character is the best, and then I'll wrap it up with a video for you guys in the morning. So hopefully I can see you guys all on Twitch, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.